Imagine standing at the edge of a battlefield where no swords clash and no banners wave, yet victories and defeats are decided in the flicker of a single smile. Have you ever felt that quiet spark of satisfaction when someone who once undermined you stumbles? That electric whisper in your chest is Schadenfreude, the ancient, unfiltered joy at another's misfortune. Most people bury it instantly, ashamed, but the truly awake recognize it as the first crack in the mask of those who walk among us. In the arena of human ambition, this emotion is not weakness. It is intelligence signaling danger. Research ties its intensity directly to the Dark Triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. Those who savor your setbacks most fiercely are the ones who view the world as a zero-sum game where your light dims theirs. They do not merely envy, they calculate. Low empathy becomes their compass. Others are not colleagues or friends, but obstacles on a private ladder. When their Schadenfreude surges, it is not random glee. It is a declaration: your fall restores my balance. The wise do not condemn the feeling in themselves. They study it like a general studies enemy terrain. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Courtiers smiled widest when a rival fell, because that fall confirmed their own precarious position. The man who grins openly fears most. Sun Tzu would call it the visible flag of hidden intent, a signal that alliances are forming against you in the shadows. Robert Greene warns that your visible success is your most dangerous enemy, precisely because it awakens this precise emotion in those wired for the Dark Triad. They cannot help themselves. Your rise becomes their private wound, and wounds demand remedy. Yet here is the uplifting truth that changes everything. Recognizing Schadenfreude does not make you cynical. It makes you sovereign. You step out of the role of unwitting target and into the role of master observer. The moment you name the feeling in another, their power over your peace evaporates. You stop feeding the beast by broadcasting every triumph in neon. Instead, you cultivate strategic humility, not as submission, but as armor. You begin to see the chessboard. Every overly sympathetic colleague who lingers too long on your minor failures is broadcasting their secret delight. Every joke that stings just enough to test your reaction is a probe. This knowledge elevates you. You move through rooms of power with the calm of a lion who already knows where the traps are set. No longer do you waste energy on false loyalty or performative gratitude. You reserve your fire for those whose eyes stay steady when you succeed, because steady eyes reveal true allies. The rest? You observe, you smile politely, and you adjust your path like a river that flows around hidden rocks. Schadenfreude, when understood, becomes your private oracle. It whispers who secretly roots for your quiet destruction and who genuinely celebrates your ascent. In a world that rewards the cunning, this oracle is not paranoia, it is clarity. It frees you to build empires without constantly looking over your shoulder. You protect your momentum by refusing to ignite the very fire that consumes lesser men. You rise, not by diminishing others, but by refusing to let their hidden joy diminish you. The path to unbreakable self-mastery begins right here, in the honest admission that Schadenfreude exists in every heart, including your own. The difference between victim and victor is simple. The victor listens to its language and rewrites the story before the next chapter is written for him. You now hold the pen. Turn the page. Once you accept that Schadenfreude is the emotional fingerprint of those who see your success as threat, the next mastery lies in reading the signs before the damage lands. The truly strategic mind does not wait for betrayal to unfold. It deciphers the subtle script written in micro-expressions, timing, and selective silence. Picture a conversation where you share a recent setback. Watch the eyes. The genuine friend registers concern first, then solutions. The Schadenfreude carrier registers a split-second dilation of the pupil, a fleeting upward curl at the corner of the mouth, followed by an overly polished mask of sympathy that arrives a heartbeat too late. That micro-delay is the tell. Their empathy is performance. Their relief is real. Another signal, the sudden increase in helpful advice that actually highlights your vulnerability. You should be careful. People are talking. The phrasing sounds protective, yet it plants the seed that you are already diminished. The Dark Triad player uses your temporary stumble to position themselves as insider while quietly celebrating the stumble itself. They do not want you ruined today. They want you dependent tomorrow. Social media offers even clearer telemetry. Notice who likes the post about your minor failure, but never the one about your major win. Who comments with emojis that look supportive yet carry the subtext of finally. These are not petty observations. They are battlefield intelligence. Greene's law is absolute here. Visible success attracts the very people whose inner wiring rewards your visible defeat. The antidote is never to stop winning. It is to stop broadcasting every win to the same audience. You protect yourself by curating visibility like a general curates supply lines. Share triumphs only with those whose eyes remain warm and steady. With the rest, practice elegant understatement. Let your results speak in private rooms, not public squares. This is not deception, it is dignity. You honor your journey by refusing to hand ammunition to those wired to enjoy your detours. Listen also to the jokes that land too precisely on your sore spots. The colleague who teases you about the deal that almost fell through is testing whether your confidence can be punctured. A true ally mocks the obstacle. The Schadenfreude carrier mocks you. The difference is razor-thin yet decisive. Once you hear it, you never unhear it, and that is your advantage. The uplifting reality is this: every detected signal is proof that you are already winning at a deeper level. Most people walk through life emotionally illiterate, absorbing hidden hostility as normal stress. You are becoming literate. You read the room the way ancient kings read omens, and because of that literacy, you move with supernatural timing. Doors open for you because you no longer waste energy forcing them against hidden resistance. Alliances shift naturally when you stop rewarding false sympathy with access. The Schadenfreude carriers drift away, sensing their game is exposed, while authentic supporters step closer, drawn by your unshakable calm. You become the rarest commodity in any arena, a person whose presence feels safe because it is strategically sovereign. This is not about suspicion. It is about sovereignty. You do not accuse, you simply adjust. A quiet recalibration of boundaries, a gracious withdrawal of certain conversations, a redirection of energy toward those whose joy matches yours. In doing so, you transform potential manipulation into harmless background noise. The knife never leaves the sheath because you never gave it a target worth striking. You are not becoming colder, you are becoming clearer. And clarity in the long game of life is the ultimate form of compassion. First for yourself, then for everyone fortunate enough to walk beside the version of you that no longer bleeds for applause from hidden enemies. The final mastery arrives when you stop fearing Schadenfreude and begin weaponizing its existence for your own ascent. The goal is never to hide your light, but to make that light so strategically placed that only true allies can see its full brilliance. Robert Greene's insight is gospel here. The more publicly your success blazes, the more it summons those whose Dark Triad wiring turns your triumph into their private crusade. The solution is elegant and ancient, selective revelation. You keep the core of your victories in a sacred inner circle where Schadenfreude has no oxygen. Outside that circle, you practice the art of graceful misdirection. Share the journey, not the summit. Speak of lessons learned rather than laurels won. The world sees movement, only your chosen few see the destination. This is not concealment born of fear, it is command born of wisdom. Machiavelli's prince never paraded every conquest before the entire court. He let rumor do half the work and kept the other half locked behind calculated smiles. Sun Tzu would approve. The supreme general wins without ever showing the full size of his army. You do the same with your achievements. Practical alchemy follows. When you sense Schadenfreude rising in someone's eyes, offer them a smaller, harmless victory of their own. Praise their minor advance publicly. The emotional economy shifts instantly. Their need to see you full diminishes because you have momentarily satisfied the zero-sum hunger. Not because you are weak, but because you understand the board. This small generosity is strategic mercy. It disarms without surrender. Simultaneously accelerate your private momentum. Double down on skills that cannot be easily envied because they are invisible until deployed. Deepen your network with people whose own success is already secure. They have no need to feast on yours. Build daily rituals of self-validation, so loud internally that external applause becomes pleasant background music rather than lifeblood. When your worth no longer depends on public validation, Schadenfreude loses its only weapon, your emotional dependence. The most profound protection arrives when you begin celebrating other people's wins with genuine warmth. Not performative kindness, but deliberate practice. Each time you do, you rewire your own nervous system away from the Dark Triad current and into a higher frequency. You become the rare individual whose presence elevates the room instead of threatening it. Ironically, the very people who once harbored Schadenfreude toward you now find themselves defending you, because your light no longer casts their shadow. This is the ultimate Machiavellian elegance. You protect yourself so completely that manipulation becomes pointless. The game changes because you changed the rules without announcing it. You rise higher, shine brighter, and yet the arrows aimed at your back find only empty air. Hold this final truth close. Schadenfreude is not proof that the world is cruel. It is proof that you are climbing high enough for the view to change. The higher you ascend, the fewer can follow, and the more important your inner fortifications become. You are not escaping humanity. You are transcending its lower currents. Every detected flicker of hidden joy becomes another stone in the fortress of your legacy. You now possess the complete triad of power: awareness of the emotion, detection of its carriers, and strategic redirection of its energy. The path ahead is not narrower, it is clearer. Walk it with the quiet confidence of a sovereign who knows exactly who smiles for him and who smiles at his expense. Your success is no longer a beacon for hidden enemies. It is a fortress only allies may enter, and in that fortress you are finally, gloriously, untouchable.